Lately, my city fell into a full-on nightmare. It came out of nowhere, deadly, unpredictable. It seeped into every house and every person. Well, not every person, to be exact, but most. Something happened to most people. Something strange and impossible to explain. Honestly, something terrifying. I'll try to tell you what it was, from the very beginning, with all the little details. People need to know how it started and what it turned into. I've got a thick notebook. My pen still writes, and I'm not in a hurry. So here goes. My name's Victor. I turned 24 right before all this got dark. Life was fine. I had my own apartment. My parents saved half their lives to buy it for me. I was in school, dating a girl, hanging out with friends. We'd go out, joke around, drink a little, just normal good times. Until the water problem started. What does that have to do with anything? You'll see. I'll start from day one. I live in an old brick walk-up from the 60s. Like I said, my parents bought it for me. It was basically bare when I moved in peeling wallpaper that smelled like a thrift store. I did the renovation myself, paid for everything with money I'd earned, some of it honestly, some of it less so. After a year of effort, it looked decent. There was one thing I couldn't fix: plumbing. Both the lines feeding the sinks and the drains were shot rusted through, leaking. I tried to get the building's maintenance guys out here. The landlord always had an excuse. Couldn't shut off the water to the stack. The part was back-ordered. We'll call you next week. Half the time, nobody showed up at all, so nothing got replaced. Sometimes brown, rusty water would run from both the kitchen faucet and the shower. At first, it was rare. The longer I lived there, the more often my sink filled with that nasty orange stuff. Sometimes it even stank like something had crawled inside the pipes and died. Until recently, I chalked it up to, this city's infrastructure is trash. Then it got weird. One night, I came home late from work, hungry as a wolf. I dumped groceries on the counter, tossed some hot dogs in a skillet, sliced a couple dill pickles, and poured boiling water into a cup of instant ramen. After that sad dinner, I turned on the tap to wash the dishes. Within seconds, rust-colored water gushed out. Great, I muttered. Looked like I'd be going to bed dirty, and the dishes would sit in the sink. For the record, I hate messes. I'm a neat freak for a reason. The tiny roaches that sometimes wander in from the unit across the hall. The couple living there are serious drinkers, and judging by the scuttle parade under their door, the roaches party 247. That's why I always clean the kitchen at night. Leave a crumb, get a crowd. But that night, I crashed around 12:30, still grimy, still hoping the water would clear up. It didn't. I woke up itching, telling myself I had to shower. No excuses. Half asleep, I stumbled to the bathroom and opened the tap. Something black came out of the shower head. Not brown, not rusty. Black like crude oil. I snapped awake. I wiped my eyes with hands the black water had already splashed. The smell, stagnant, swampy, filled the bathroom. What the hell is this? I threw on clothes and headed into the hall. I knocked on neighbors' doors to ask if it was just me. Apartment 1, Apartment 2, Apartment 3. Same story everywhere. Black water. People opened their doors pissy and half awake. Everyone was waiting for what? Nobody knew yet. I ran to the store for bottled water. I couldn't wash, brush my teeth, couldn't even make coffee. At least I'd woken up early. I grabbed 2 big jugs and headed home. The folks in line behind me were loading up too, cursing the city's water department. From the chatter I gathered, it wasn't just our building. Out front, the courtyard had turned into a town hall. Grandmas from the next entrance, a couple guys, somebody's aunt, everyone talking about the same thing. Talking wasn't going to make clear water come back. But I stood there a minute, caught my breath, listened, then went upstairs. I did the morning routine as best I could, and went to work, feeling oddly upbeat, sure this would be fixed by evening. My mood died as soon as I saw the office faucets running the same black stuff. The same swamp reek as in my bathroom. Thankfully, we had a water cooler, so at least we could drink that day. Can't say the same for the days that followed. Next morning, repeat. The water looked even darker. 3 days later, the city shut it off completely. The office stopped getting deliveries too. First, we were told to bring water from home. Then they started sending us home early. Stores began to empty out. People tore through pallets like locusts. I had no idea what was happening or why, but I kept hoping it would get fixed soon. I stocked what I could, grabbed the last dusty case on a bottom shelf. I cooked, washed up, and drank from those jugs, rationing like crazy. 3 days later, rusty water returned to the tap. Not black, low progress. The smell was the same as the black stuff. A week passed, and I started to worry. My stash was running out. Store shelves were bare. People were buying anything liquid soda, energy drinks, whatever. The city water department shrugged. The staff looked as tired and confused as the crowds camped outside their building. Nobody understood anything. It felt wrong, beyond a typical outage. I realized how bad it was when my water was nearly gone, and tanker trucks started rolling into town. Lines formed for blocks. No, miles. And what the drivers said shocked everyone, me included. There's no water anywhere, they told us. Not in the cities, not out in the sticks. Wells are dry. Public pumps, too. We're handing out the last reserves. Nobody knows what's going on. It had happened fast, they said. Out of nowhere. Someone behind me yelled, "What about the rivers? That's fresh water. You can drink it." "Go look at the river," an old man barked from behind me. "Go on." "What about it?" I asked. "Kid, the stuff they piped to your faucet came from that river. And the river turned black," he said. "There's some kind of sludge in it. That's why your tap's done." He laughed. I didn't. Each day, fewer tankers showed up. Fights broke out in the lines. Then the trucks stopped coming altogether. The grocery stores were stripped bare. Every bottle gone. Liquor, sports drinks, everything. Food shelves were full, but there was no water. Back at home, the sink coughed up that same black liquid. Sometimes it shut off by itself, like it had a mind of its own. Every day the situation felt more poisonous. I had a little drinking water left, enough to hang on, but I couldn't cook or bathe anymore. Something bad had happened. I could feel it even then. And I was right. One day, I went out, hoping against reason to see a tanker. Instead, I saw people, drinking the black stuff. How could I tell? It showed. Black smears on faces like they'd washed in it. Black around the mouth. Some folks' hair looked coal dark and wet. Disgusting. But I got it. Families with kids. What else could they do? Then things got truly insane. I went outside every day, and every day I saw more of them. Didn't the filth bother them? The sticky black hair? They walked around like it was normal. Not even a towel to wipe their faces. Later, I understood why. The old man from the line, the one who laughed, found me. I was on my way to a friend's place when he came toward me out of nowhere. His face was pitch black, like it had been painted. He held his arms out stiff in front of him, palms cupped like he was carrying water. He stopped in front of me. "Here," he said. "Drink, son. The water's fine." I just stared. "No thanks," I said. "I'm good." "How can you not want it?" he suddenly shouted. I flinched. "Hey, take it easy." I said no. I looked closer at him. Same coat, same hat, same old guy as before. When I started staring at him like something was off, he jerked around and jogged toward a building entrance. What was that? Why did he try to hand me that sludge? And why wasn't he breathing? How is that even possible? Maybe I imagined it. All of this was getting too weird. I kept going to my friend's place. The streets were emptier every day. I waited forever for a bus and rode across town. In the bus, I saw more of them. Let's call them the blackened, because I'll be using that word a lot. 5 blackened sat scattered through the seats, and maybe 3 regular people. Their behavior was wrong. The strangest was a woman in the very back. I watched her from the corner of my eye as she picked at her mouth. Then she started pulling out her own teeth. No scream. Blood streaming down her chin, and not a sound like it was normal. The others twitched and fidgeted too. One kept cracking his knuckles, loud and deliberate, like he wanted attention. Fear crawled up my spine. I bailed a stop early. Better to walk. I couldn't shake the image of that woman yanking teeth. By the time I reached my friend's building, I had goosebumps everywhere. I buzzed, the door opened, and I knew immediately it was bad. Evan stood in the hallway, face, hands, neck black. He didn't offer a hand, didn't say hi. He just opened the door and stepped aside for me to enter. Every instinct screamed not to go in. Something awful was about to happen. I ignored the voice and went inside. He shut the door behind me. We went to his room. "Don't tell me you've been drinking that," I said. "Me?" he chirped, weirdly cheerful. "Of course. Want some? You must be thirsty." "No, I'm good. Come on, it's just water. Hang on." He went to the kitchen. I heard the tap run. He came back with a mug. Thick black liquid sloshed inside. I said no. Drink. Why was everyone offering me this stuff? I pulled a 16, 9-ounce bottle from my bag and took a swig. Evan smacked it out of my hand. "Dude, what is wrong with you?" I snapped. "Drink this," he said. I picked up my bottle, capped it, stuffed it away. "What's going on with you?" I asked. While he talked. "I'm fine, Vic. Chill." I realized he wasn't breathing. Not maybe. Not hard to see. Not breathing. He stood like a statue, sluggish and delayed in every motion. Panic rose in my throat. I needed to leave. "I should go. I've got a lot to do," I said, standing. A hand clamped my shoulder. Ice cold. "Where are you going?" he asked. "I told you. Busy. Didn't you hear me?" His grip released. Then he darted to the corner of the room and, with a running start, smashed himself into the wall. I swear, I thought his head would come off. "What the hell are you doing?" I yelled, rushing to him. His neck was twisted, head lolling to the side. But his eyes were open, blinking, staring straight at me. No way a living person survives a hit like that. You didn't see the force. He hit hard enough to rattle the floor. My hand shook. I tried to help him up. No breath. Nothing. I grabbed my backpack, bolted out the door, and ran like a lunatic back toward my place. On the way, I found a dropped, sealed water bottle, normal water, and pocketed it. No buses. No point waiting. The roads were dead. Dusk was coming on. I alternated between walking and sprinting, terrified of whatever might lunge out of the dark. I didn't know yet what the blackened could do. I found out soon enough. It took me a little over an hour to get home. I passed two blackened at a bus stop. They just stood there, like they were waiting for a bus that wasn't coming. My courtyard was empty. Even though it was evening, almost no windows were lit. Climbing the stairwell, I realized many of my neighbors had already drunk the black stuff. Inside my apartment, the full horror clicked. People who drank the black water. Something happened to them. Something I couldn't explain. Did they die? Why did they stop breathing? It was beyond wrong. I forced down some food and tried the TV. Nothing. Internet dead. And something told me it wasn't coming back. I stayed home 4 days. Not much happened inside those walls, but outside it got worse. Cell service dropped. Yesterday the power went out. From my dark window, I watched the street. More and more blackened. They looked normal, decent clothes, steady gait. But I knew better. Since yesterday, someone has been knocking on my door, mostly at night. I was drifting off when I heard a soft tapping. Thought I'd dreamed it, until I woke fully and listened. Real. I checked the peephole. My downstairs neighbor stood there, blackened. I didn't open. We barely spoke before any of this. The knocking continued last night. And tonight. Long, patient, insistent. I pretend I'm not home. I'm scared. Really scared. It's pitch black in the hall, and something, maybe not even neighbors anymore, keeps trying my door. I'm out of water. Food's low. I have to go out and find something, or I'll break and drink that black rot. They haven't tried to force the door yet. All they've done is offer me a drink. I'll make it through tonight. Tomorrow, I'm taking something I can use as a weapon and going outside.